To everyone else, you are the anchor. You handle your career, family, and others' emergencies with a perfectly composed calm everyone mistakes for effortless confidence. When someone checks in, the response is automatic. I'm fine, I've got it. Most people believe you because your life keeps moving and you rarely ask for anything in return. But the weight becomes visible the moment the day goes quiet, when there is no one left to fix or manage. A heavy, nameless tiredness sets in, the kind of exhaustion that sleep cannot reach. This bone-deep fatigue stems from the crushing isolation of the burden. Carrying a massive load is one thing. Carrying it without a safety net is what causes the system to buckle. Over years of performance, being the strong one shifted from a role you play into an identity you can't escape. You've learned to function without leaning, and now the very idea of needing someone feels like a threat. Our culture praises self-reliance as a universal virtue, but psychology identifies a critical split in how people actually handle life on their own. Healthy independence functions as a flexible choice. It's rooted in the confidence that you can stand alone, but you remain open to leaning on others when the terrain gets rough. Hyper-independence operates as a rigid, involuntary reflex. It's what happens when self-reliance stops being empowering and starts being compulsory. In this state, asking for help triggers a spike of anxiety, a physical resistance that feels like a matter of survival. This armor acts as a protective layer built around one core belief: needing something is dangerous. You minimize your needs and hide your exhaustion, essentially using extreme competence as a shield against the risk of being seen. For a child, reaching out for help is a biological default. We are wired to cry out and expect that someone will eventually come to meet our needs. This instinct changes when that cry is met with silence, irritation, or an overwhelmed parent who needs the child to be the stable one. Parentification occurs when a child absorbs adult roles because the adults in the room are absent or unpredictable. In that vacuum, the child draws a quiet, adaptive conclusion: I can't count on anyone else, so I will handle it myself. That decision allows the child to keep functioning without waiting for support that may never arrive. Adults praise this early maturity, labeling the child as responsible or low maintenance. You learn early that your value comes from what you provide and how little you require. This capability was forged in isolation. You didn't become strong because you were supported. You became strong because you were alone, and survival required you to be. Even when you understand the history of this behavior, your body still tightens at the prospect of asking for help today. This is the brain's alarm center, the amygdala. For a hyper-independent person, an offer of support registers as a threat, causing the center to light up. To a nervous system wired for risk, ceding control feels intolerable. It deploys a barrier to keep you self-contained. The reflex to push help away regulates your internal safety. It's a physiological effort to maintain control and prevent the emotional exposure that your system once learned was unsafe. This defensive wiring creates a specific kind of distance in relationships. When you handle every problem internally and never lean on a partner, you unknowingly signal that they are not required or trusted. Hyper-independent people often carry a deep, recurring fear that they will eventually be abandoned, which only reinforces their need to stay self-sufficient. When a partner consistently meets a wall of "I'm fine," they eventually stop trying to reach over it. They begin to feel redundant or excluded from your inner world. This silence creates a gap that looks like abandonment, but it's often the wall itself that made connection impossible. Love thrives on mutual need. By blocking access to your uncertainty or your moments of "I can't do this alone," you prevent the very intimacy that would cure your loneliness. Moving away from hyper-independence does not mean sliding into a state of helpless dependency or losing your sense of agency. Interdependence allows for a different kind of strength. Two strong pillars remain standalone, using a horizontal bridge to share a load. You stay grounded, yet connected. You retrain your nervous system through micro-asks. These small moments of receiving prove that reliance is safe. You will likely feel a rush of shame or anxiety the first time you do this. This discomfort is a sign of your nervous system exploring unfamiliar territory, not a sign that you've done something wrong. Courage shows up in the decision to lower your defenses just enough to let someone else stand in the gap with you. Sharing the weight allows your strength to exist without the heavy cost.